Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're in Nantwich at the old graveyard of the church, which has long since gone. We need to sort of whiz round this a bit quick because some of these videos are getting very long. It's difficult to show everything. It's not a big cemetery, this. Well, it was a graveyard, it was a church. But lots of interesting graves, as you can see. I'm trying to pick out the most unusual ones. You can, of course, pause the video if you want to read some of the headstones. 1997, this one. Quite a big statement piece there. 1953. (1893). That's looked after well, hasn't it? 1993. It's amazing how some from that age are in perfect condition and others you can barely read them. Quite an interesting little one there with a cross on it. Blackbirds having a sing to us. The state of the ground, it's now run by the council and they come about twice a year and mow it. So it is like a ploughed field. War grave. And this is a must-see one. This is 1913. Another big one there. And we did see something similar to this at Burslem with the urn inlaid. Flat one there. There's some sort of new graves which shouldn't really be because once it's closed then the council take it over, but if it's closed, why are we getting new graves? So a lot over there are new, so we'll just go back down this side where the old graves are. We do have war graves. There's one there, one over there. See, they have chopped a tree down here. Some of the graves are in good condition and some are not so good. So we just looked at that one in the 1800s, and there's one here, you can't even make out the date on it. Another war grave. 1900s next to it. Some at the back here with that one's, two of them there are sort of doing that. Nice angel. You can't read the writing on it. This is under a big tree and it can be quite nice in a couple of months with the flowers under it. That's an unusual one. Can't make out what it is, but it's like a shield, and it's like a double grave. And the one behind it is 1898, is judging by the size of double grave. Cross. So we're still under the trees, one there big grave with the cross on it, 1934. Mixture of old graves, a war grave there, there's a war grave behind it as well. The daffs are just starting to come up under the tree. So if you wanted to read the name, you should be able to freeze the video. I'm trying to keep the video short. That's an interesting one. I think the top was probably gone at 1953, so she had a good life, somewhat 1875 to 1953. And it starts to thin out a bit. There's sort of like a big gap there where there's nothing. A lot of these would be from the hospital, because the hospital was right next door to it. Schofield, quite a well-known name in Nantwich. That's a different one, isn't it? 1939. Big Celtic cross. You can just see that, I'm not sure what the plants are, but there's obviously daffs coming up, which makes it quite nice. I've got a little two robins fighting over there. Under another tree, and a few old graves. It's a bloody cold morning this morning as well. 1888 is that one? Just have a pan round so you can see. Well, there's a whole section here where there's virtually no graves, or if they are, they sort of crashed to the ground and burned, sort of thing. A couple of old ones, some daffs. And this is quite interesting. Thomas Boker. There's another cemetery just down the road, and Boker family seem to be everywhere, and the really big statement pieces. Fair old one that is. An old one behind it, we can't make out what it says. 1926. Then we come to another section where the quite old graves, all leaning. Old tombstone. That one's quite a statement piece. Some flat ones. A tomb where somebody's escaped, obviously, with an urn on the top. I don't know what's going on behind, whether that's storm damage or they're cutting it back. Another war grave there. Nicely written one, 1854. If we can get to the others because of this storm damage. Quite a big one here with metal round it, so high status, isn't it? 1851, 1876 Massey. Another one under a tree. So there's bottom end, so they're all sort of 1830s. One there you can't make it out. 1857, another big tomb here. 1896. That's quite another statement piece. Just about make out the name. Well, one that stands out. 1872, you can't really read it. Two little ones there. Big one, a fairly big one behind it. Again, you have a job to read. That's a very, very sad one. 9-week-old in 1852, 5-month-old, 5-year-old, 1-year-old. So quite a tragic family, that. Big tomb here. John Sutton Nix, is it? 1853. And another one, 1877. Quite interesting statement. There's like a double gravestone there, presumably husband and wife. Again, you can sort of see the influence of what was about at the time and how the graves change as the years go on. This is sort of an older section where there's a lot of the older graves. I don't know what's happened to this one here at all, but it looks like a tomb collapsed and all sort of stuck back together. Another unfortunate one there, 14 months. One here in a dangerous condition, Bowie. Is it Bowie? Quite a famous name in Nantwich. It's funny how we get these new ones. If it's a graveyard and it's supposed to be closed, why are we getting these fairly new ones? 2018. A nice little one at the back there with the dove. Just have a pan round. Anything we miss? A war grave under the tree. Another section by the road of old graves. Couple there, similar sort of design. One there, 18 something, you can't quite make it out. One or two flat ones, whether they were flat originally or whether they just fell over. There's two in the middle of the cemetery, like tree of life type of things. Obviously that's fell down, there's a bit there to it. And the one next to it looks fairly ancient. Just trying to... Age 9 days, 1807. It's a common thing, there's obviously put a little bush in with the grave, and then a few years later it destroys the grave. It's the last few going to the entrance where we came in, a double grave, but two separate headstones. One's here going a funny colour, 1866, quite an elaborate one. Next to it, 1882. And that brings us back to where we came in, but we didn't do a few this side. So some of the old, just by the entrance as we come in or go out. It's not a very big cemetery, but I hope we've showed you a little of what it's like. There is another cemetery just round the corner with all the modern graves in, along with a lot of gypsy graves.